Created by James Mitchell. No More Games. Written and read by Craig W. Braddock. Chapter 3. Callan had not seen his friend Lonely for a few years. He knew his small business had gone bust, and it was not an unfair assumption Lonely's wife would have left him, and he would either be indulging in his career as a petty criminal, or living what was for Lonely the high life in some Victorian-era prison. Jumping off a number 27 bus in Stoke Newington, Callan realized if there was a deeper hell than the Caledonian Road, this may be it. Terraces of houses and shops, even the Luftwaffe had not wasted bombs on, and a local population of immigrants who would not even look each other in the eye for fear of it provoking violence. 248B Stoke Newington High Street was the place that Callan had been instructed to go to by Mears. Sandwiched between what was locally known as the Packy Shop and a hairdresser offering the finest styles 1968 had to offer, was a battered green front door. Instinctively, Callan reached for the doorknob, and to his slight surprise, the door swung open. Up the narrow staircase, Callan was faced with 3 doors. A clumsy padlock had been fitted to one of them, but the padlock lay loose on the floor, and pushing the door open, Callan saw a small living room, a desk, a telephone with a long lead to the wall, and a middle-aged man with a worried look on a chair working away at the desk. He didn't look up. "Ah, David, yes. It's not too much to look at, is it? You're not kidding, are you, Toby?" Callan smiled, thinking how uncomfortable the upper-crust Mears must have felt in this squalor. "Hunter, if you please, Callan." Toby's power play was not working. "If you are Hunter, why am I not at section headquarters?" Toby got up and went to the window. Staring outwards, he avoided facial contact. "Because, David, I can hardly employ you in the section to kill another agent." "Well, if there's no money in it." Callan turned around to leave. Without moving, Toby just said, "In my desk, £20,000. 10 now, and 10 when you're done. You cover expenses." Callan sat at the desk and started counting out 10 grand in £20 notes. Mears turned around and propped himself at the other end of the desk. "Would you believe I live here?" Callan got up and bundled the 20,000 back into the desk drawer. Callan's eyes probed Mears' face. "Well then, Hunter, you know they'll be bugging you." Hunter looked around. "Not yet, but you can't come back here." Reaching under the desk, Hunter took out a cream-coloured leather sports bag. "Take all the money. Keep it at your premises. From this moment we will not see or speak with each other." Before Callan had a moment to respond, Hunter continued, "I can't tell you any information about Nicholas. Only you have to kill him in the next 48 hours, or the deal's off." Callan sighed and could feel his heart beat quicker. He reached for his shirt collar and loosened the top button, pulling down his tie slightly. Why the secrecy? I mean, even our Hunter wasn't that bad. Hunter looks down at the desk. Trust me, David. Well, that's just it, Hunter. I don't trust you. Callan got up to leave without the money. Hunter ran to the door, blocking his path. In his younger years, Callan would have just punched his way out. But he could see a glint in Hunter's eyes. There's someone I want you to meet. Hunter's face broke out into a slight grin. Hunter slipped around the door. For a moment, Callan thought about just walking out before he remembered that Hunter, especially enjoyed shooting people in the back. Hunter re-entered the room with a dishevelled 50-something man. Small and wiry in frame, you could just make out under his filthy grey trench coat he once possessed an agile physique. But that was a long time ago. The man would not look up. Callan could see his sweat-stained cloth cap. In fact, the smell of perspiration and old sex was almost overwhelming. The man said nothing. Callan looked at Hunter. You sadistic bastard! What the fuck have you done to him? The man looks up. His face was bruised, his eyes blackened. His remaining teeth had been knocked out. He broke into tears and ran into Callan's chest. All he could say was, Mr. Callan. Callan wrapped his arms around him. Despite the stench, he said softly, lonely. Completely nonplussed by the situation, Hunter grabbed some keys. Downstairs, there's a blue Ford Cortina. Take the money. Take your smelly little friend. Lonely knows where Nicholas is, and Lonely knows where that prostitute is. In fact, I caught him sniffing around her the other day. Didn't I, Lonely? He needed to be reprimanded, David. Besides, I knew a little discipline would be good training for working with you. Still holding Lonely, who was now softly sobbing, soaking Callan's sweater, Callan realized that getting Lonely to cooperate by his usual means of scaring him was not going to work. For a moment, Callan had a flashback, but before he could express anything, Hunter whipped out his pistol. On your way. Lonely will be the go-between. Callan was having some problems detaching himself from Lonely. Putting his hands on Lonely's shoulders, he gently but assuredly prized Lonely from his chest and turned him around 180 degrees to face the door. Here's your bag, Callan. Hunter looped it over Callan's wrist. You know, I was just thinking, did you have anything to do with the suicide of Agent James Cross, in 1972? Now, David, why would you think that?